Welcome to Bourbon Experience. My name is Austin. Today I'm reviewing Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat recipe and Kosher Rye recipe bourbon. Today I'm going to be reviewing Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat and Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye recipes. Before I get into this though, if you could please like, comment, subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and I give a lot of sample giveaways, so that helps you stay in the loop with that. So now that's out of the way, let me get into this. I'm going to be starting off with the wheat recipe, and the main reason why is because wheated bourbons tend to have a softer profile. Maybe it wouldn't be as fair to go rye and then wheat. And then also I've had the wheat before quite a bit. So start with the one that I know. This is 94 proof wheated mash bill from Buffalo Trace. Now, I read somewhere online that these kosher recipes are different than your typical Weller recipe for the wheated bourbon, and different from either mash bill 1 or mash bill 2 for the rye recipe. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen anything to credit or discredit that, so who knows. This is the 2023 release for the kosher wheat. I believe it was the 2020 that I drank a full bottle of, shared it with a ton of different people. It was a big fan favorite. Everyone seemed to like it, even non-bourbon people. That was one that they found easier and more enjoyable to drink than some of the other stuff that I had around at that time. Which makes sense. Special Reserve, Weller Special Reserve is probably one of the easiest drinking bourbons from Buffalo Trace, and probably just around for brand new people or people who aren't super into bourbon. So makes sense that this kosher wheat was a fan favorite. Man, that for being 94 proof, this actually smells really good. This smells like it could be a Weller product. It's sweet, it's fruity. There's a little bit of the wheated mustiness, a little bit of oak. I mean, just like a tiny bit, maybe a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel, your basic bourbon stuff. But there's this, a little bit of that mustiness, and then some red fruit and sweetness. It smells really good. Okay, let me get into it. Man, that's really, really good. That is strawberry syrup. Strawberry syrup, Buffalo Trace grape, some like corn flakes maybe, like a cereal, like a corn type of cereal. On the previous release, I referred to it as the Special K cereal that has the dehydrated strawberries in it. And this is on par with that, but this being a fresh crack, I think it comes through a little bit more pronounced, a little bit stronger, a little bit more full flavored than I remember the other one being. But this year's release is right on par with the 2020. I don't know how much they're gonna vary. I think they'll probably be fairly consistent. Yeah, sweet, grape, strawberry syrup, corn flake thing, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of oak, a little bit of barrel spice on the finish. And the finish actually sticks around for a good amount of time compared to some of the other stuff that's probably at 94 proof. This is really enjoyable. I think this is, if it's not the identical recipe as the Weller, it's very close if it's not the same. It's fantastic. You could throw this in a lineup or a flight with OWA and kosher wheat, and they would be, if you just did a Weller lineup flight, Special Reserve, OWA, 12, this would fit like perfectly in there. They might as well just call this Buffalo Trace Kosher Weller, in my opinion. Fantastic. I really enjoy it. Luckily, these aren't terribly hard to come by. if they get marked up, they're not getting marked up to insane amounts. It's not like a markup to $200. I think it's 60, 70 MSRP, and you can probably get them from that maybe up to, I don't know, 140, something like that. It's not some crazy amount, and you can probably get it for the same price that you can get an OWA for. So I definitely recommend this. I bring this bottle to parties. I bring it to bottle shares. I bring it to mainly people who aren't big into bourbon, because this is a great thing to turn them on to it. It has good flavor, a little bit of spice. The proof isn't crazy high, but it's not 80 proof. It's perfect for that realm. And I think it's 100 degrees out right now. I don't know why I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, but it's great for those like summertime sipping. So let me move on to the Kosher Rye now. I am really excited to try this one. That's cool. The cork just pulled out. Okay, used a wine key to get the cork out. Relatively painless. That wasn't too bad. I use these oftentimes for dusties when the corks disintegrate, so I've had a little bit of experience with that. Now moving back onto the Kosher Rye. That was a hefty pour. Oh, interesting. So I'd say this smells closer to a Mash Bill 1 over a Mash Bill 2 product. This is darker, more savory than the Kosher Wheat. This is nowhere near like a Stag proof or anything like that, but it has that savoriness that Stags have a little bit. And then it has the Buffalo Trace grape. There's a little bit of perfume note, and then like a little bit of like an acetone in there. But yeah, savory, more dark, barrel char, grape. Definitely more full flavored expression on the nose. Oh, that's interesting. So right before I took that last sip, I got almost like an Eagle Rare quality of like a cherry or maybe raspberry thing along with the grape, and then that oak thing. And then as soon as I tasted it, it just reminded me straight of Eagle Rare. Grape, cherry, savory, oak, some of that dark barrel char savoriness. Nice finish. It's hanging out in the chest a little bit too, which is cool. Yeah, both of these are really enjoyable. I'd say this is just a little bit fuller version of Eagle Rare. I'd say this is a lot bit fuller version of Special Reserve. Special Reserve, I tend to get an apple thing in there too, though, which this is absent. So I would say maybe a little bit subdued version of OWA, but not in flavor, just in proof. Obviously, the flavor really does, for being 94 proof on the Kosher, it really stands out. They're both great. Do a quick rapid fire, see what my preference is. There's a cinnamon and baking spice, and then the more red fruit on the Kosher, that for me is more my preference, more my wheelhouse. And this just tastes like if you get a really good Eagle Rare pick, or I don't know, there's other things out there that fall in this wheelhouse, in this lane from Buffalo Trace, that this seems a little bit more unique. It is in line with like OWA, and maybe I'm just predisposed to like OWA more. I love OWA. I would prefer the wheat over the rye, but they're both great. If you can get either one of them at retail or whatever when they come out, don't hesitate, obviously, and you won't be disappointed. I don't know what secondary is, but don't go crazy on secondary, because there's comparable things depending on what the ask is for these products. Anywho, that's where I'm going to leave it today. It's a small miracle if I get this out on time, which will be Thursday. Sick wife, sick baby, crazy work schedule this week. So small miracle if this even happens. But as always, the bourbon experience is all about good pours and great times with whoever you're with. Whiskey's meant to be enjoyed, so crack those bottles. Cheers.